This time on 818 Custom Garage, it's the Marketplace Christmas giveaway. You're going to like this one, Cole. So, welcome back, everybody. Shane with 818 Custom Garage. We've got a pretty cool one here today, and I really hope you enjoy it. We're going to build a giveaway truck. Now, it's not going to be the random giveaway. We're building it for my cousin for Christmas. Figure I might as well capture it. He came out with us to the Little Guy Racing Parts Sunset Crawl. Had a blast. He's had a crawler in the past. Doesn't have one now. We're like, man, me and the boys were talking. We're like, we had so much fun together. We're going to be building the truck. We have a lot of leftover parts, stuff like that we can like make him something pretty cool. So here's the idea. I found this Gladiator on Marketplace. I got it for like ridiculously cheap. It's got a few little scratches on the body and stuff, and it had a few little like mods. You can see, you know, the hinge is broken. So, but we've got a lot of leftover parts and stuff that we're gonna go throw into this build, make it fun. It'll probably be a pretty good performer for what it is, and then we're gonna give it to him for Christmas, and hopefully we can all go out and have some fun together. So let's get into this build. Let's show you what we're gonna go do. So we don't have a whole lot of time till Christmas. I think we've only got maybe a week. We can get this thing together, I'm pretty sure. Hey, like I said, you know, it's got a few scratches here and there. He actually got to drive this out at the Sunset Crawl, enjoyed it. He likes the long wheelbase stuff. It makes a good performer. This is what that truck would look like from, you know, stock. I got all the stock parts. The guy gave me everything. So now, he'd relocated the shocks, no big deal. But other than that, it's pretty stock. He took the bumpers off front and rear, and that was the reason why it ended up breaking the back hinge. So we have we have a new back hinge set up from Axial. So we'll get that together with a new rear bumper on and stuff like that. Probably going to keep the front bumper off. He had shoe-gooed the lights here. I may kind of do that. I do have a light bar. I don't know. I was thinking about maybe hooking them up with a light bar too. We'll see. I have a spare Bauhaus LCG low center gravity conversion kit to put, you know, to lower the, I think we're going to try to do a front mount battery up here and then move the electronics back here. If you've been following along, you have seen that Mint, our C10, went through a very big conversion lately. Big upgrade. And this was it. This was a Little Guy Racing Parts 66 turn, nice motor, you know, 050 motor, and it was in Mint. This is what's left over of Mint right now. We are using him for other things too, and taking certain things off for other builds. Took the whole motor and transmission out. We're going to put that in here. So he's going to get a nice 66 turn motor, get some more torque. I've also got a Endura, what is it? I forget which one they call it. It's the like B100, MB100 ESC. I think, you know, it's a brushed ESC, so, but it's better than the stock ESC. These are rated, I think, at like 10 amps. This is 20 amps. A lot of people like these a lot for the brush motors. This will be better with that motor. And we've got a set of axles that are out of, you know, these are stock axles, but it has the brass knuckles, brass cover, trio brass steering on it. And then this also has overdrive gears in the front, which will be really, really good. And then, you know, rear, we're going to keep stock. So although we could probably just use that rear gear in there, that rear setup in there that's already there. With that, we're going to throw in an Emax servo. I have quite a few of these. You know, I usually buy them like 4 at a time or so when I do builds. So we're going to throw a little bit better servo. These things are like dirt cheap, I mean, but they work really good. Really good budget servo. Along with these axles, right? Mainly the front axle. We're going to run a set of EXO axle shafts. So these are a universal joint axle shaft. They are titanium, and you can get a lot more steering radius or turning radius out of the front stock axle. You got a mod. You got to take a little bit of material off right here. You know, it's worth it. Get them a little bit more turning radius out of this thing too. So we're going to do those as well. I have these laying around. I'm like, let's use them. Let's use them on a build. I have a spare limit strap set up since we're going to throw, I think we'll either use these Endura shocks, or I know I have a set of Little Guy Racing Parts shocks that I think they're the 43 eye to eye as well. May use those. So when we do all of that, we'll throw the limit strap. We could do rubber bands, but hey, I've got it. I do have another set of hex extensions. These are 5 mil hex extensions. We'll get the wheel out a little bit, give us a little more width. These are not super weighted, which is good. And then let's see, we've got some arms from Endura that I had for another build. These are basically for like a they're for a Gladiator or a Power Wagon. These are the high clearance arms. So hey man, he's getting hooked up. And then boom, I got a spare set of these are Little Guy Racing Parts Ghost wheels. They're in silver. These things are so nice. And then a set of 64 Swamp Kings from Little Guy Racing Parts too. So I've got these things. I've had them for a little while. They're all mounted up, ready to go. So it's going to look pretty sweet on this thing. We're going to have to do a little bit of body trimming. So we'll do that too. We'll clearance the fenders a little bit too for him. So this thing's, it's not going to be like anything crazy. You know, it's not a super crazy build, but it'll be good. And then, you know, I just have a SLR 300 receiver for that way we can use the stock, the original Spectrum remote, so transmitter. So we'll put this guy in there too. And that way, because like if we had kept the stock ESC, we wouldn't have to do any of that. But you know, I have this other ESC. Most everything else I have is, we're going brushless or have gone brushless. So I don't plan on using this. And we're going to keep this, you know, this is a good, reliable setup. I mean, really reliable, really functional, should be really nice. We'll, you know, clean up the wiring. We'll make it look really good. They give you all the like adapters for the batteries and all that other stuff. You know, we're going to we'll give him the battery. We'll give him the charger, remote. He's going to get a whole ready to run setup. So it'll be pretty sweet. So we're going to get into this. We're going to tear off these super cheap, no-name wheels and tires that need a special tool to get them off, and they're really annoying. Get those off. We're going to get all the arms swapped over. Probably get all the axle all built up and everything, and we'll kind of show you, you know, I don't think I'm going to go, I might go through and we'll show you a little bit on doing the mod for the axle shafts, so you can see the steering angle gain that we'll get, and then everything else you've seen before. I think you've seen me do everything else, except for, you know, we'll show you the low CG kit. I haven't used this one before. I really like the Grizzly Works RC one, but I don't have one. So we're going to try this one out. I think this might be good because I think you can move the battery. It looks like it has a hole to put the strap there. So we should be able to put the battery in the front, electronics in the back. That way we can get some more weight up front. And it might really help this thing. So I'm really pumped. This is like not a budget build, but like a semi-budget build. And, you know, it's parts that I had laying around, wasn't using, or stuff that's already been used and whatnot. So, man, this thing's going to be really solid. So, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with lights. I'm either going to maybe do something a little different with these front lights, or maybe we can get a light bar. I mean, I have one, but I was going to use it on that guy. But I can always pick up another one. So, and before anybody keeps like telling me in the comments and stuff that, oh, you get a bunch of stuff for free. I don't get anything for free. I pay for everything. So just so you know, I wish I got stuff for free. But no, I use all the companies that I really, you know, that I like. I support a lot with Little Guy Racing Parts because their stuff really is high quality. So, you know, you'll see, hey, I got stuff from everything, Endura and Little Guy Racing Parts and everything else. So, we're going to build a nice little budget build. So let's get into it. Look at the mess that has ensued. All right, so you can see we got this chassis coming together. We got the links on the back all on already. We've got front links in and mounted as well. If you look at it, I thought it was so cool. These front links, they're offset. They're off. They have a little bend there and a bend at the back. So cool. So I had never seen that before on some of these links. Most of them are just straight on the tops. And these are high clearance, of course, for the lowers, front and back. So I think we'll be good. We got the transmission mounted in the motor. One thing. So I went to go use the Bauhaus setup, right? You can see I've got the front piece in, and I think we're going to use the front battery mount. I'm hoping we can do it that way. This mount will not work on the Gladiator or the Power Wagon. It is strictly like C10 JLU, because normally, see, this hole right there would line up with that hole in the frame, and look how high that would sit. Oh no, sorry, what a dum-dum. These go down here, but even so, and this is supposed to sit in the channel. That's not going to happen. It sits above. So it's pretty cool that they notch this for in case you're using a larger motor, but this would still sit up too high and we can't mount it up. So not a big deal. Using the stock one, which sits nice and low anyways, you just need to cut out the little notch right there to fit the 050 motor. So we did that. We're all good. Next up, so we are, I got a set of Little Guy racing parts. These are their 48s. They're technically a 43 eye to eye. So we got everything pulled out over here, all the old stuff. We're going to keep all that because you never know. Might end up using it for something. Got our Emax servo ready. Next up, we are going to start working on this front diff. So we're going to do these axles. So really, it's pretty simple. We're going to pull the knuckles off and then pull the shafts out. And I'll show you that. So we're going to go into that next. I'm going to clear this off so we have a nice clean work table. Then we'll hit it. All right, time to get this axle all set up. So first thing I did was just undid the one side link, right? We're now going to take our knuckles off. Remember, these are pretty small. This thing's pretty cool. They got the little bushing. Some use the bushing, some don't. Some of the Little Guy racing parts ones. I don't think theirs do. A couple others don't as well. So remember, we are getting rid of this whole shaft, because this is two pieces, right? Take that out. And then the other thing we're going to need to do, okay, so I'm going to show you the first side. So see that bearing inside there? You need to get that sucker out. And we got it out. Cool. I was lucky. So that is the one thing that they say to make sure you remove that bearing, because it can cause binding with these shafts. So make sure that we removed it. Okay, so we're good on that side, right? Sorry. So the issue is when you've got your knuckle here, right, and it's on there, you know, it's stopping, the knuckle right there is stopping against this section of the axle housing, front and back, right? So it's gonna, and you're gonna rotate one way or rotate the other, right? So with these axles, they will give you a little bit more turning radius just by themselves already, right? Because it's a nice U-joint axle, nice and strong, nice and light, much better than this design. So But nothing wrong with the stock design. It works. And it takes the power. So what I usually do is I get a set of flush cuts. So the flush cuts will leave a nice, a nice edge along there. So all we're going to do, see if I can do this. And some people use a razor blade. That's all I do. Do that on both sides. And it's not a super thick piece. So here, you can kind of see what I took off. It's pretty thin. I mean, it's almost like cutting up fingernail. God, my fingers are trashed. That's what happens when you work your hands all the time. So that's it. And then it leaves, with the flush cut, it leaves it pretty clean. If you want to, you can take a little file and just clean it up. So I might do that too. But let's see. We'll get a file, clean that up a little bit. Actually, probably just use a razor blade. Nice sharp razor blade will clean that up good. So let me grab that. So we use our razor blade, just use it. And we'll usually just deburr the edges, right? Now look, you got to remember too, after you do this, when you go to set it up on the truck, you need to make sure that you set your endpoints. If you don't, it can over steer and you'll get too much radius, right? And then it'll bind this. And if you bind this thing hard enough, it's gonna break. So I don't care what kind of axle you have, do that with anything, it's gonna break. And plus, if you don't set endpoints and stuff like that, it's really hard on your servo too. So setting endpoints is always a big deal to do. It's really easy to do, but always do it. I do it on every single car I own. Okay, so we got it. So take that inner bearing out. We're good there. Make sure it gets in there. It's locked in place. Leave your bearings there. And then look at all that angle that you can get out of this thing now. So sorry, got my hand in the way because I can't see. Remember, these things don't need, you just get them to where they just stop. Don't go cranking on them because you will strip it out, guaranteed. Ask me how I know. There you go. I mean, you can see where this one is. Look how much more angle you can get out of this thing. That's stock, that's not. So much better, so much more. Now, like I said, you gotta go set your endpoints because, this thing's gonna run in over here, right? You can run into the cover, you can hit the cover, all that stuff, that'll probably end up being a stop. People like RC Steve 710, He makes, you know, tons of links for a lot of these micro crawlers. He's a really cool dude. Tons of stuff. He makes some more high clearance steering arms and all that other stuff, you know, to help with that. So that's an option too if you want to do that. So, but for this build, we wanted to get some more steering angle for him, and you know, we'll go from there. So that's it. So you got to make sure you remove that inner bearing, and then, you know, give yourself a little bit of clearance on the housing, and then you put it back together. So we already did the one side. We're gonna go forward. I'll pop this other side apart, do the same thing, and then we're gonna keep moving forward. We'll get it into the chassis, and we'll show you guys all that. Hopefully this helped. Man, look at that thing. Got a little carried away. Just kept going. Man, I dig it. Those Swamp Kings, man, they just look awesome. The ghost wheels, that Gladiator body, it looks wicked. Looking underneath there, it looks so much better with no front bumper, honestly. And then you can see we got the back bumper back on it. I think it looks better that way. It looks good. I think it looks super sweet. So, definitely need to do some trimming. Definitely need to do some trimming. So that's up next. We're gonna trim it next. But let me show you under the hood. If I can pop it. So, let's show you what we did. So we got the upper front bow house piece on. Couldn't use the back because that just doesn't fit like we talked about. Got the shocks on, you know, got that full front diff all done and together and on. Emax servo. We got our limit straps on. It's a pretty simple build. Nothing too crazy. If I had more time, I would probably make the wiring look a little better. I mean, it's sanitary, but you know, this ESC comes with like adapters and you got to plug everything in. It's kind of annoying, so I would like normally probably make a bunch of little custom harnesses. But I mean, it's all tucked in there and good. So yeah, I mean, ESC fits good back there. Receivers in there, I mean, everything. And the battery, we just did some dual lock on it. Yeah, you could do a strap, but dual lock works good. I've always found we use it a lot on the speedrun stuff. And then I just did some Velcro to hold this guy together. Put the dual lock on there. Man, yeah, I mean, it works really good. So I bound it, just made sure that everything was rotating correctly. Motor was going in the wrong direction. I don't have a switch since we're using an SLT2. We don't have a switch to reverse the direction. So how do you do it? You swap the positive and negative. So I just unplugged it, flipped it around, all good to go. Got the endpoints all set on the steering, got the body on, got the new mount and everything all done. Man, I'm really pumped. I mean, I think it looks cool. Yeah, it's got a few scratches and stuff here. He's gonna beat it up anyways, but I've always liked the look of the black Gladiator body. This thing just looks all sinister. So, especially, and I dig it with the silver ghost wheel. I love the ghost wheels. They're probably my favorite. Man, those wheels look just awesome. We've got a set of Trio 5mm hub extenders in there too. They were a little tight. I actually had to, you know, the black brass, so I ended up, if you look in there, you can tell I filed off the black on the hex piece. It was a little snug, so just cleaned them up with a file, made it all nice. Man, these arms look good. These shocks are buttery smooth. The little guy racing part shocks are super nice. I really like them a lot. So we're good to go, man. We're gonna trim this thing up. We'll probably do a little inside test run. Just gonna kind of test it out, see what it does. And man, then it's off for Christmas. We'll get some video of him opening it up. Hopefully we can get some run footage because he's coming over here. So before we box this thing up and wrap it up, just got to show you a couple cool little things on it. You can see we got the headlights on. We did some super cool stuff. Also got the body all trimmed up. Left some fender on the front. I think it looks pretty clean. Took them off on the back. Give it that extra clearance for those big tires. But man, watch this thing. This little brush setup. Man, I really like it. This Ventura ESC is really nice. Looks super good. Look at this thing crawl up this thing. The control is really good. We'll get it all the way over. I mean, it's almost vertical. That thing does good. I think he'll really enjoy it. I mean, that thing was straight up before it actually went over. So let's box her up. What'd you say, Dash?
It's from me, basically.
This one's from you?
Yeah, but you built it.
I didn't do anything. This is Dash's idea.
This is all Dash's idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did tape the box up because I knew you'd have a knife.
Well, it's good. I got one for Christmas.
Nice. Even better.
Yeah. It's a staple in the Horgan house.
Right?
Yeah, someone always ends up with a
You're
knife.
gonna love it. It's black.
Oh, wow.
It's an RC rock crawl.
Very cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's super sick.
But what is it, Dash? Is it a full custom built? 818 custom garage?
It's a full 818 custom garage, custom build. This thing is sick. Oh, wow.
This thing's got a lot of cool stuff on it, huh?
Jeez. That thing's pretty sick. Thank you, thank you. Oh, yeah.
Now you can come out with us.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be out all the time.
I know.
I'm going to be showing Huck this.
Yeah.
Let me crawl over your paw.
So Christmas was a success. I think Cole loved the gift. I'm super bummed because I was out barbecuing. We actually did steak for dinner. We had a bunch of people, so a bunch of family. It was really nice. But Cole and Dash, they were out there on the outdoor mini crawler track here at the house, and man, they had a blast. Cole said it was really fun. Just got a bum that didn't get to capture any of the video on that. So, but man, he really loved it, really enjoyed it. I think it's a good performer, cool little build. It's something that I think anybody could do. So, you know, hopefully you guys can use it in the future. We're gonna get a lot more video of Cole and that sweet rock crawler. See if he does anything to it in the future. I mean, it's pretty legit already. But yeah, you could do a few more things to it. So, we really appreciate everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody. Hope you all enjoyed everything, and you know, we appreciate all the support. Comment, like, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Remember, we got those discount codes with Little Guy Racing Parts, 10% off. Use it. Go use it. I mean, it's 10% off. So really appreciate all the support, and we'll catch you on the next one.